Welcome to Galveston Unscripted. I'm currently at a giant ranch outside of Johnson City. What does that have to do with Galveston? Oh look, normally I do not talk politics, but considering this is history that ties directly back to Galveston, I figured I'd give it a shot. The 1911 Galvez Hotel. Many of you may already know that Presidents Roosevelt, Eisenhower, Johnson, and Nixon all stayed at the Galvez Hotel. And most of the time, those presidents were down in Galveston to set off on fishing trips. Do you ever discover something super interesting so you dive down an internet rabbit hole and then you feel the need to share it with everyone? Well, that's what this video is. Thank you to our video sponsor, The Daily News, bringing you the news since 1842. Support your local newspaper, The Daily News. In 1937, FDR came down to Galveston to go on a fishing trip. FDR hopped on his presidential yacht and set off into the Gulf of Mexico. Little did FDR know that when he returned to Galveston, he was going to be meeting one of the future presidents of the United States. He met a young Lyndon B. Johnson, a congressman at the time, establishing a relationship that would forever change the United States. When Roosevelt sailed back to Galveston from his fishing trip, the governor of Texas at the time, James Allred, introduced young LBJ to Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the moment was captured on camera. And I was fortunate enough to find this photo online at the Texas Archive of Moving Image, which is a fascinating website, which I highly recommend going to check out. They've got some amazing footage on there. The FDR and LBJ meeting became known as the Galveston Handshake. Many historians point to this moment as the launching pad to LBJ's political career. A budding relationship with the President of the United States could only be a good thing for Johnson's trajectory. The Galveston Handshake. I am at Lyndon B. Johnson's ranch. Here is his plane. Their relationship blossomed from there, and they began working together on many projects. LBJ became a dominant member of the Democratic Party in the United States and was seeking election for president, but lost the Democratic nomination to John F. Kennedy, otherwise known as JFK. JFK reaches out to LBJ to run as Vice President of the United States, and JFK wins the presidential election. LBJ becomes Vice President of the United States. And most of us know what comes next in this story. In November of 1963, John F. Kennedy is assassinated in Dallas, and Lyndon Baines Johnson becomes the 36th President of the United States. Johnson was an extremely experienced legislator and successfully used the political capital that came from Kennedy's death to push massive civil rights legislation through Congress. He passed some of the most extensive civil rights legislation in over 100 years. But his political success was overshadowed and undermined by decisions to enter and stay in the Vietnam War. LBJ is a perfect example of how complicated a presidential legacy can be. I'm watching dolphins and talking about presidents. I'm sure we all know that with politics, there are a lot of moving parts. But who knows? Would Lyndon B. Johnson be in the position to become the 36th President of the United States without a post-fishing trip handshake right here at the Port of Galveston? That handshake is known as the Galveston Handshake that launched Johnson's political career. And look, you don't have to trust me on this. You can go read all the books that have been written about Johnson's, Kennedy's, and Roosevelt's life. I am purely highlighting a moment that can propel a person's career and life. I am sure you have had one of those moments too, where one handshake or interaction completely changes your life. The Port of Galveston, launching political career since 1825. I highly recommend reading some of these books and looking into the life of Lyndon B. Johnson. If you haven't, go look into LBJ's life and political career. Controversial does not begin to describe some of the things he was able to pull off. That's it for me. I just wanted to share with you something I discovered on my way to LBJ's ranch in Johnson City, Texas. Actually right outside in Stonewall. Highly recommend going to see that property, by the way. I am just waiting for the conspiracy theories and negative comments down below this video. But that just comes with the territory. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Galveston Unscripted.